to be a victim of a nuclear holocaust. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000 of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country the size of New Jersey.
Okay, let me stop there for a second. Because a lot of people not educated on actually what's going on. And when you're ignorant to God and you're ignorant to the things of life, sometimes things like this, you feel they are no importance to you whatsoever. The word of God says that Israel is the city of the king. And that's speaking about Jesus Christ, God in the flesh. The word of God also says that Israel is the center of the world. When you want to understand the prophecies and everything that's taking place, you have to look at Israel. And this is why it's so under attack by the devil, because he hates God and the people of God, which is the Christians and the Jews. And what he did was raise up a religion of rebellion, which is a military that he will use, according to the Bible, in the last days as his weapon to try to take over the world. And that religion is Islam. Though we live in a world of politics where they don't like to call it out and tell the truth as a result of not wanting to offend anybody, we're going to tell the truth. The religion of Satan is the religion of Islam. That's his religion that he made and created to go against the true religion of God, by which the Christians and Jews are established to be the light of the world, by which the world know the one true God. Now, if you pay attention to this map, look at this map. All the red territory in that map is all the Arab Muslim countries. They are in the red. If you look at where this black arrow is going right here, this black arrow, that little bitty yellow land right there, like he just said, this country is the size of New Jersey, that's Israel. Notice it's surrounded by all these Islamic countries and nations. It stands alone by itself. There's a reason why it's also done this way, that God may be glorified when he sends back Jesus Christ to attack and destroy the armies of Satan under this religious military, because that's what it is. It's a religion and an army at the same time. A lot of Muslims in their ignorance are deceived at this, believing that they actually worshiping God, when in reality they're not. They're worshiping Satan, who's masquerading as God, using the things of God to deceive those who don't know who God is. That's what's happening here. Now, the religion of Islam was put in play to actually oppress and try to take over the world. According to their prophecies, they Mahdi, who they looking to come into the world, he will go on this crusade where he will be converting the whole entire world to Islam. And whoever do not convert to Islam will be put to death. The whole religion is built on murder. Now, you have some ignorant people and they stupidity say things like, religion is just a form, a way of power to control people. No, Religion is the practice of the one true God by which we operate under, that we may have peace and truth. But what happens is the enemy infiltrated that and created false religions to go against the true religion of God by which the world was liberated. That's what you're seeing happen in Rome. Think about slavery. Think about those nations. First of all, mostly every nation in the world, if we're going to be honest and true, all partook in slavery in some form of another. The thing about us is we date slavery back to the 400 years. We don't account the slavery before that all the other nations in the world were partaking in, having servants and things like that. We only think about the European transatlantic slave trade. Here's people ignorant that they don't get. Where did they get those slaves from? The Arabs. When you read the Bible was clear that the Ishmaelites would be the slave traders of the world, who we know today as being the Arabs and Muslims. They have always been the human traffickers and slave traders of the world. They are the masterminds behind it, even to this very day. So in deception, you have been taught that the white man, but it was the Arab Muslims in which they actually was the one that was doing it and giving the Europeans the slaves. They don't teach and educate y'all on that. And under that, they have killed more slaves than any Europeans have ever did. That's the thing y'all not taught. That's the thing y'all are not privy to as a result of being ignorant to history. It have always been them. The religion is set up to go against God and his children. Look, Surah 18:4. God has sent down the Quran. No, he didn't. This is a fake God. God has sent down the Quran to warn those who say God has taken a son. See that? Look at Surah 9:30. The Christians say that Christ is the Son of God, and that is their statement from their mouths. They imitate the sayings of those who disbelieve before them. May God destroy them. How are they deluded? See that? The whole thing is murder to force people to believe in Islam and take Islam. That's why you see the nations in these areas right here, they are highly oppressed their people, and they force the sword to make people believe and become Muslims. They specialize in terrorism, murder, oppression, human trafficking, slavery, rape, extortion. That's what the whole religion is built upon that. Don't let these people deceive you in no type of way. They hate the Christians and the Jews. More evidence. Surah 5:51. O you who have believed, do not take the Jews and the Christians as allies or friends. They are in fact allies of one another. And whoever is an ally to them among you, then indeed he is one of them. See that? Do not take the Christians and Jews as your friends. They are only friends of one another. When you see what's happening here, Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the prime minister of Israel, most of United States intel in the Middle East comes from Israel. They the ones who put us on game because they're there and we are not. They are our allies. This is why the United States have been in a position by God to be blessed as a result of us being the focal front by which the nations look to as a result of before moving. And because it is a Christian nation and society that the LGBT and all these other false religions trying to come in and tear it down now to make a judgment come on this nation, that's what we can't stand for. Because this is the only reason why we've been protected for so long. Because of the Christian values by which it was established on. And the slaves were liberated by the abolitionist Christian movement. Not the Muslims, Not these fake Hebrew Israelites, not the atheists, but it was the Christians who took the forefront and actually led the United States into their first civil war amongst each other to liberate the slaves as a result of every man being made in the image and likeness of the living God, by which they took a stand for God and liberated the slaves. This is what the people lie about and don't get. And this is where you get the translation where they would call nigger lovers. And they always talk about, but they never acknowledge the white folks who gave their lives in the fight to liberate the blacks, who was labeled as nigger haters, nigger lovers. And then you have this fake religion posing and masquerading as a religion of God that's actually murdering and causing all type of oppression among the nations, forcing people to believe in it or die. Over there in those countries, they can't even leave Islam. If you leave Islam, the penalty is death. Think about that. That ain't how Christianity is. We talking about true Christianity, not this fake Catholicism Christianity that they try to put a black eye to Christianity with by the acts and tyranny of the Catholic Church. We're not talking about that. We're talking about true Bible-believing biblical Christianity. To be true followers of Jesus Christ. We're talking about that. Now, when you look at the situation, in this, we find the truth of the matter at what's going on and how this all fall in line of what you see going on right now today. Not operating under the acts and authority of the popes by which many people died under that Inquisition and Catholic Crusades. We're not talking about that. Now, when looking at this situation of what's going on, a lot of people are ignorant to what's taking place. In the Bible, the definition of Antichrist is those who deny God the Father and his Son. That's 1 John chapter 2, verse 22. That's the definition of Antichrist that y'all are familiar with and have heard. Well, that's the religion of Islam. Islam denies that God is the Father and that Jesus is his Son. In order to be a Muslim, you take what is called a sworn oath, which is called the Shahada. The Shahada. The Shahada of their faith is to denounce that God is the Father and Jesus is his Son. That's the Shahada that they take in that Shahada. Now, that's Antichrist according to the Bible. Remember, this religion came 600 years after the death of Jesus Christ. So when all the prophets and the apostles and Jesus Christ was gone, then Satan come from up under a rock and try to start a new religion to oppose the true religion of God by which everybody was being saved by. And the one message was that God had a son. That has always been a message. From Adam and Eve to where we at right now, the message have always been clear. God has a son. Again, look at what the text says. This is the Quran source, Surah 18:4. God sent down the Quran to warn those who say God has taken a son. See what's happening? The religion is nothing but a satanic reverse of the truth that was already established by which people were believing. So 600 years later, Satan raises up a false prophet from an Arabic nation to go against the true nation of God, which was Israel. And this is why Israel is under attack around those Muslim nations that operates under the power and authority of Satan. Don't let these people fool you. Do not let these people fool you. There is no such thing. Let me say this, and this is real. And this is not hate. This is just the truth. There is no such thing as, first of all, anyone being good. Because the Bible says there is none good. No, but one. but one. And that's the true God. And that's why Jesus was sinless and never did anything wrong, because he was God also, along with the Father and the Spirit. Now, there is none good. There is no such thing as a good Muslim. None. Because in order to be a Muslim, you have to go against the true living God. How could you say you good and you go against the true living God? You have to deny him and then take upon a shahada of idolatry that creates another God other than the one true God, who is Yahweh Elohim. Matthew 28:19. Go and baptize all them under the name, singular, the name of the Father, the name of the Son, the name of the Spirit. What is the one name that the three persons share? The name of the one true God, Yahweh. Psalms 83, which is also a judgment on the Islamic nations. All these red nations you see right here come to judgment in Psalms 83. In Psalms 83. These are the Islamic Confederate nations that join together to go up against Israel in the last days that God will destroy according to the Bible. Look at all the nations. Look who they are. The Saudis, the Palestinians, the Egyptians, Hezbollah, Lebanese, the Palestinians in Jordan, the Arabs of the Sinai area, Hamas, the Gaza Strip. This is what's going on over there. And so many Americans are so comfortable over here in the United States, we don't have an idea. Let me tell y'all something. Religion runs the world. Everybody believes in something, even the atheists. And people operate and make choices and decisions based upon their beliefs. It's estimated that there are 7 billion people on the planet today. Okay, let's see if religion runs the world or not. So if there's 7 billion people on the planet today, almost 2 billion of those people are Christians. Another 2 billion of those people almost are Muslims. That's 4 alone out of the 7. Another 1 billion is Buddhist. That's 5 billion. That's not including the Hindus, and that's not including the Native Americans. That's not including all these other. Everybody believes in something. Everybody. That's what run the world. Religion run the world. But there's only one true religion. What is the one true religion? The religion that was established from the very beginning. Yahweh Elohim, who created the heavens and the earth. That's the one true religion that is actually expressed in truth through born again, Bible believing Christianity. That's the truth. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. See, because of politics, they're not going to say that, even though the evidence is all around it. Everything in life is built around Jesus Christ. Everything. Make no mistake about it. God is a triune God. 3 persons make up the one true God. The one true God consists of 3 persons, Father, Son, and Spirit. In creation, testifying to it. This is why Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun. It testifies to the triune nature of God. And this is why we have 12 planets in our solar system rotating around the sun that also represent Jesus Christ and the 12 tribes of Israel, by which the oracles of God were preserved, by which we have it today, and we are saved and liberated through the knowledge of God that the enemy is striking against. So Israel is fighting on behalf of the world also. And listen to some more of this, man. Y'all been deceived. Y'all people need to really open y'all eyes and know the truth.
This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped. Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel. You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th. But the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself. Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors. They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near. And when that happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again. I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. And Iran plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades, it's led millions in the chants of death to Israel and death to America.
Facts. A lot of people don't know that. They were chanting that all over their country. They said that United States is the big Satan and Israel is the little Satan because we're bigger than them. And they know that we support Israel. They said in order for them to take over the world, we have to get rid of the United States and Israel. The moment we get rid of the United States and Israel, we will be able to take over the world. But notice, God is using the United States and Israel to actually keep them under control while they may be gaining in numbers. It's only to set them up. See, they don't get, look, this is actually all this red area that's becoming Islam, that's Islamic already and things like this, this only so that Jesus could be glorified and King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Let me educate y'all people on something. When Jesus came to the earth, the Jews knew that he was the Messiah. They also knew he was the Son of God. They wanted to be liberated from the power of the Romans upon his arrival. But what they didn't understand, that all sin had to be dealt with and that God was going to save everybody through Jesus Christ. They were so arrogant among themselves by believing that they were better than everybody else that they forgot that they were sinners just like everybody else. And what they wanted Jesus to do right now to become the Messiah that is to take over the world and rule it in peace and truth, it wasn't the time for that yet because he was sent to die for them. And they wanted to be liberated. They didn't care about his sacrifice. They wanted him to be King of Kings and Lord of Lords in daytime and era. Well, that was a problem. He can't be King of Kings and Lord of Lords at a time where the greatest weapon is rocks and stones and swords and arrows and spears. I can't be King of Kings and Lord of Lords in this time and era. So he become King of Kings and Lord of Lords at a time where war is at an all-time high. God sent him to die at a time where death was considered at an all-time high. The crucifixion, so shameful that people don't even do it to this day because it was so shameful of how you died, where we get the word excruciating pain from. That's where the word excruciating pain come from. Pain unbearable unto death. That comes from the word, the Latin word, excruciating, come from the crucifix. That's what that meant. So God sent his son to die at a time where death was at an all-time high, because if you're going to die for the sins of the world, it can't just be a simple death, because your death have to be pleasing to the Father enough that you can have a pass as a result of what the Son suffered on your behalf. He couldn't just die a simple death. Just like when he become King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He can't be King of Kings and Lord of Lords at a time where war is not really considered that powerful in those times when you only dealing with spears and arrows and rocks and swords. No, he become King of Kings and Lord of Lords when war is at an all-time high, where we got submarines and stealths, nuclear missiles and bombers and tanks and helicopters and jets and atomic bombs and drones. That's when he now become King of Kings and Lord of Lords. While these Islamic numbers continue to increase, these are the nations he come back to destroy. That's literally against him. To be a Muslim means you are against God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's what it means to be a Muslim. You reject all three persons and the truth for who they are. So it is a satanic religion that's built to rebel against God and oppose anyone who honors God. That's why they hate the Christians and Jews. Now, with that being said, this is what's going on in the world. And Muslims don't know that they actually are children of Satan. And they are taught to pray 5 times a day because they believe that this is drawing them closer to God. No, in their deception, this is what they don't get in their own deceptions and ignorance and folly. The reason why they command them to pray 5 times a day is because when you praying to someone other than God, you allowing demon spirits to come inside of you. So they commanded to pray 5 times a day so that the devil could take control over their bodies. That's why. Anytime you calling out to a fake God 5 times a day faithfully, you are depleting your spirit and opening it up for demonic possession and obsession. That's why they so violent, because the spirits they are allowing to habitate their bodies. Yeah, I know y'all don't want to hear the real truth. Y'all want this watered down lie, this political scandal that they give y'all to keep you trapped and ensnared to be deceived. And y'all afraid to look into the truth. But you don't never have to be afraid of the truth, especially when you got life, even when the truth is against you. You know why? Because the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. In the knowledge of knowing the truth, you are now then stuck with the choice to make a decision of doing right or doing wrong. So the truth is never against you, even when it appears that it's against you, when you are proven to be in error of it. Like for instance, the Bible speaks about do not commit adultery. Okay, that's the truth. Let's say, for instance, I committed adultery. So yeah, the truth is against me in the point that I am an adulterous man. I'm an adulterer who committing adultery when I know that it says do not commit adultery. But in that same way that it shows that I'm in error of it, the same way I'm given grace to come out of it. Because now that I have the knowledge of the truth, now I have the choice to stop doing it. That repentance is granted that I may have life. See that? So the truth ain't never against you, even when it appears that it is, because it's always there for you. Come on now, people. Wake up.
Today, Israel is responding to those genocidal calls with action and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America. Our action will help make the world a much safer place.
That's a fact. Why these people be trying, oh, Israel doing that? Man, them people are defending and their own territory and land. The devil trying to wipe them out because he need that territory. He need that land. Why? Because the prophecies say Messiah must return to that place. Zechariah chapter 14, Acts chapter 1, Matthew chapter 24. Messiah must return to Israel. The devil trying to take the land and get rid of Israel so that the prophecies could not be true. He trying to get rid of. He trying to get rid of them to stop the prophecies that's going to send him to hell. Come on, people. Stop being so ignorant. Y'all looking to everybody else. Look into the truth. You look into rappers. You look into music. You look into girls and guys. Y'all do everything else, but won't even look into your eternal soul. You won't even look into the affairs of God to see what's going on. That's how so many people gonna get caught up in the midst of it without any defense at all. And when you do that, you have failed as a parent. You have failed as a parent when you're not equipping your children to actually know the truth. That being said, it's your boy Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment that's in question. It's yours.